this is Lauren Pappas. I'm here at the awesome SuperTraining Gym, and I'm going to be talking with Mark Bell, who is a powerlifting guru, and he's going to teach me how to bench press the right way. So I know how to do regular bench press. I mean, I've been doing it the way that I've been doing it for so many years, but how do I increase my bench?
In general, when you do a bench press, some of the main things that you're trying to do, regardless of what style you're trying to do, whether you're bodybuilding or powerlifting or whatever it is, you always want to try to have certain rules in mind, just to protect yourself so you don't get hurt, and then also just to allow you to lift the most amount of weight. So just lay back on the bench. A couple easy things to do. Because you're not a power lifter, there's really not any great reason to do a lot of crazy things with your back, but it is important to have your legs involved in the lift, because a bench press is not just an upper body movement, it's a full body movement. So put your legs down and bring your feet back a little bit, okay? And if necessary, at a gym, you can put down a plate or something so that you can make a little bit more contact with the floor. But we always want to have the knee lower than the hip. And the reason is that brings up the rib cage, helps bring up your chest, and helps to shorten the range of motion. Okay, so that's the first thing. We need to have our legs underneath us in order to bench press. I also like to have people grab the bar with the underhand grip first, and then pick your upper body up and just bring your upper body down a little bit. Pick your upper body up, there you go, good. And now, the reason why we did that is to help shorten your range of motion so your shoulders aren't going to take the brunt of the bench press. So now put your hands back on the bar the way you need to.
And it's okay that my lower back isn't touching the bench?
Yeah, it doesn't need to make any contact with it. You can think of it as being your foot, the arch of your foot. Arch of your foot, not always making contact with the floor, not anything to really worry about. You don't want to arch excessively because it can cause a little bit of issues with your lower back, but this is totally legal to do in a powerlifting meet, and it's totally safe to do. So then it's always good whenever you're going heavy to have someone spot you, someone just to lift the weight off for you, so that way you're not lifting in kind of an incorrect position. And as we're pressing, a couple things we're looking for, two main things we're looking for, or three main things we're looking for is we need to get our grip correct. So your hands are a little uneven there. So easy way to get your hands in the right position is you can use these rings. You go pinky on the ring, okay? If that feels like it's too wide, then you can go thumb, put your thumb over here, move your hands over here, and go thumb away from the smooth part of the bar. Hopefully your thumbs are of equal size, and you can kind of go from there, okay? So here we go. Now we're even, and here we go. So now what we need to do, you're letting the elbows come outward quite a bit. Not necessarily the worst thing in the world. What we like to see in powerlifting is bring the elbows in just a little bit as you're coming down. Just even bring them in a little bit less, but it's only at the bottom of the lift. There you go, that's how you do it. Now pause it down there, and now press hard. Good. Kind of press as if your life depends on it. There you go. There you go, good.
Feeling the burn.
There you go. Good. Okay, we can rack it now. But all that was good. You kind of noticed she went with like a little bit of like a false grip. Her thumb wasn't totally off the bar. In general, I like to see people usually grab the bar, but that causes a lot of wrist problems for people. She's a small person, so maybe grabbing the bar is a difficult thing. But having your hand like this or like this is going to allow you a little bit more freedom with where you put your elbow, and so your form was pretty good on all those. I would say just to always make sure that you squeeze the bar hard, and that'll help keep your wrist in proper alignment while bench pressing. If your wrist is back on a bench press, you're not going to be able to produce as much force as necessary. It'd be very hard to press something heavy that way. Kind of think of it as like someone's going to throw a punch, they threw in this way, it'd be a lot less effective than if they were to throw in this way with the wrist nice and tight and in line with their fist.
Right, and then if it's like this, there's a greater chance for injury.
So get up and shake my hand as hard as you can. You guys kind of see, and she shakes my hand as hard as you can. See all these muscles in her forearm flexing all the way up into her shoulder, and even look into her neck. There's some muscles in her neck flexing. Why is that important? It's important because when we go to lift the weight, squeeze it with everything you can have so that everything is in place. Remember, the bench press is not just an upper body movement, it's an entire body movement. Each and every time you do a set, each and every time you do a rep, try to remember 3 things. One is to make sure your feet are under you so that you have some leg support, because remember, it's a full body movement, not just an upper body movement. The second thing is make sure you squeeze the bar so the wrist is in proper alignment. And the third thing is just to bring the elbows in just a little bit so that the elbows are close to the body in the bottom of the lift.
And then holding it at the top or holding it at the bottom, does that increase the effectiveness of the exercise? Do you get more out of it if you do that?
Powerlifting wise, you always want to try to like pretend you're in a hurry, so you try to get out from underneath the bar as quickly as possible. So we unrack it, make sure our arms are locked, and then we take it down, and then we try to throw it up as quickly as possible. So we're trying to get like in and out of that position as quickly as we can.
Should I be concerned about the arch of my back?
If you kind of turn to the side here, just stand up straight. Back's already arched, right? So are you concerned about it being arched right now?
No.
Then you're good.
Okay.
So your back doesn't need to be flat on the bench. If you're running into back problems, I would suggest wearing a belt when you bench press. If you don't like to wear a belt, then you can put your feet up on the bench press, and that is going to allow your back to be a little bit flatter. But again, bench press, especially when you're trying to go heavy, trying to push the numbers, you're going to need your legs underneath you, so you're going to have to put them down. Having a little bit of space between you and the bench press is totally fine.
Cool. Legs give you power.
That's right.
Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope that helps with your bench, increasing your bench and increasing your strength and your form. Check out Mark Bell at supertraining.tv. You can check me out on Instagram and Twitter at LaurenFitDJ.